What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'll wait on a few hundred of you to get in here, and I'm going in, fam. This has to be the most talked about topic in sports and all of sports all over the world right now. I mean, you had the World Cup World Cup had it all by itself for a minute, but right now, at least for now, it's all about Deion Sanders' move to Jackson State, at least in the U.S. Put it like that. In the U.S., it's got to be the biggest story in the U.S. So a lot of people are agreeing with what Deion had to say and the move that he made, especially the blue checks. I was checking on Instagram, and a lot of blue checks was like, yeah, go. But there was equally people that was disappointed in his decision to part ways with Jackson State, an historical Black college, a university, to move towards a predominantly white institution, a PWI. I want to start off by showing you guys something. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I want to show you something. So this is a picture of the Jackson State Tigers under Deion's leadership. When Deion went to JSU, you know, he was big on leading these Black kids to not just to victory, but to not just victory on the football field, but victory in life. And he was a mentor to these kids. They looked up to him. They revered him, I would even say. And Deion made it all about these Black boys, right? And not only did they buy into it, Jackson State bought into it, the fans bought into it. Pretty much everybody bought into it. The fans that were at Jackson State and beyond. Well, when Deion made his decision to leave Jackson State to coach at the University of Colorado, a lot of people was questioning his intent from the jump, because he said it was all about these Black boys. So this is what the picture was like when Deion was at Jackson State. That's the picture of Colorado. That's what the boys look like at Colorado. That's a good representation of what he's going to be, or who he's going to be coaching when he gets to Colorado. Now, of course, he's going to bring a few recruits with him, Black recruits with him. But for the most part, this move is as clear as black and white. Now, before I go any further, let me say this, fam. Deion Sanders, in my opinion, has always been a stand-up guy. I've always admired Deion. I like what he did. I love what he did throughout his whole career. He always was that dude. Deion is a man's man, you know, like a solid dude. He's a family man. He's involved in the community. He gives back. He's more than talk. He's that dude. Deion is that dude. So, and let me say this. I remember Pimp C used to call me from time to time and ask me about his contracts. Hey, Willie D, what you think I ought to do, man? And I told him invariably, do what's best for you and your family. So I'm gonna keep that same energy. I think that Deion did what was best for him and his family. But when it comes to his extended family, Black society, I don't think that that was the right move. You see, fam, it's very disappointing that every time we get someone or something that is great, the establishment finds a way to lure it away from us. Intrinsically killing hope and further progress. This happens all the time. Now, I just don't think that we'll ever get there if every time we get something great, we give it away or we sell it away. Let me tell you something, fam. I don't trust the University of Colorado. I don't trust none of those institutions outside of HBCU. I don't even trust a lot of the HBCUs, to be frank with you, but I'm just saying, like, I know their play for real. Like, I don't even have to guess. I know exactly what they be thinking. Their goal is always to take our best away from us so that they can't help us. I say it all the time. One of the biggest problems in our community and in Black society is not the uneducated Blacks. It is the ones who have got out there and made it, that know what's going on, that don't reach back and help. Now, that ain't the situation with Deion entirely, because he did go back and he did help. He put 3 years in. Some people say, well, that's not long enough. Well, that's 3 years of your life. If he lived to be 300, that's 3% of his life. So he gave a great deal to Jackson State University. He made some sacrifices that we don't even know about. He went through some things at Jackson State that we don't even know about. Like, we don't even know the half of the struggles he had at that school. Just simply trying to get the kids better equipment, a better workout facility. You know, these are things that are a gimme at these bigger universities. When you look at Colorado, the University of Colorado has a $5.1 billion endowment. $5.1 billion. Guess how much Jackson State's endowment is? 60 million. Just shy, just north of 1% of the University of Colorado's entire endowment. Man, the deck is stacked. But the deck ain't gonna never not be stacked if we keep giving all of our best talent away. We keep selling. Every time we build an industry, we sell it. You know, BET wasn't the greatest network, but it was ours. We could do what we wanted to do with it. And at least we had some control. When dude sold it, sold BET, it was over. I haven't even watched BET since. I don't watch it at all. The network is totally compromised. And that's what happens. They're going to come in, they buy us out, and then they switch it up. I suspect that Deion, at the maximum, is going to be at the University of Colorado 3 to 5 years, and it's going to be over. It's going to be a wrap. Maybe he'll get a job at a pro, and make no mistake, Deion Sanders can coach a pro team. But I do believe they're just bringing him in to take him out of the HBCU, to take him out of that industry, to take him away from the HBCUs, so he can't help them, so he can't help the HBCUs grow. Because remember, fam, before all of these predominantly white institutions were having black players come in there and dominate, they wouldn't allow black players to play for them. And many of them were very, very mediocre until they started recruiting black players. And prior to that, the HBCUs ran football, dominated everything, ran it. And once these PWI said, okay, we're going to allow y'all to come play with us, y'all can come over here and play, boom, you got a mass exodus. And then the HBCUs was all downhill from there. Now, I know you shouldn't put all of this on at the athletics department, because there are colleges out there, there's universities out there that has no sports, little or no sports, and they got bigger endowments than Jackson State has and many of the other HBCUs. So that's a point that needs to be made. But these athletes bring in a lot of money for colleges. A great program can bring in just an unheard of amount of money. And Deion was on that trajectory. He had set that trajectory to where he could have just continued to do all kinds of amazing things. He turned that program around like that. 27-5 record in 3 years. The last year, this year right here, undefeated, 12-0. Man, that's a oh, he did that. He did that. The dude is something special. The dude is something special. Deion Sanders is something special. So again, fam, we don't know what he was up against behind closed doors. I do know that from what he said, he was very transparent about how he had to fight every step of the way to put butts in seats, to have some respect from the NCAA, to get those kids equipment, get them proper transportation, and all of these things, proper meals. This is a fight, an uphill battle the entire way. I heard Deion say that he know God and God called him to make that move. Like he know this is the way to go. Like he said something to the effect that in college, as a college coach, you either get terminated or you leave. You get terminated or you leave. Okay. He was a college coach, so I guess he know more than me, but I think another alternative is to stay. To stay and duke it out. Now, I'm not in his shoes. So it's hard for me to judge that. But I just know that I would have wanted to see. I would have loved to see if he did that in 3 years, not if, but he did what he did in 3 years. Imagine what he could have done in 6 years. this is what I say. Some people saying, you know, Deion is living in his purpose. Deion believes that his purpose is to pursue greater pastures and just keep climbing or whatever, you know, up the ladder. I guess he probably wants to be a head coach in, you know, in the pros or whatever. But he feels like, you know, that's his, he's a journeyman, you know, that's his role, like to pursue greatness, you know, in other regions, you know, to keep it moving. That's his journey. That's his purpose, or at least part of his purpose. And he's gonna no doubt do some great things at Colorado because the dude just got it. He's that type of dude. But when you look at impact, the impact he has on Colorado is not going to be anywhere close to the impact he had on Jackson State University. Even if he goes to the NFL, the impact he has on the NFL as a coach will be nowhere near the legendary impact that he had on Jackson State University and that he would have continued to have on HBCUs across the nation. This dude damn just single-handedly almost, I mean, you know, you're only as good as your team, but so I got to be careful with saying that. But, you know, he was a great part of turning HBCUs around. So to me, when I start looking at legacy, I'm just gonna say, I ain't gonna say what he ought to be doing. I'll say what I know how I think. So I'll just say just the way I think. They was giving him some of the things that he wanted. In fact, they gave him a lot more than they'd ever given any other coach. They was putting butts in the seats. The meal program had gotten better. Transportation was better. A lot of things were better, and they was happening fast. Deion's impact was infectious. It was contagious. He could have, if he had stayed, Jackson State was only going to get better, and it would have spread it across other universities, I do believe, because Deion was fighting for the entire program, not just Jackson State. In order for Jackson State to reach its greatness, to be as great as full potential, then the entire conference had to be great. And Deion was working toward that. And his star power opened doors that other coaches just ain't going to be able to open. I don't care who he names as his successor or recommends as his successor. They're not going to be able to open those doors that Deion was able to open. People are not going to be as fired up. This is like having, like, blowing up a balloon and somebody coming and just sticking a pin in it after you and you get the balloon and it's looking beautiful. You're like, yeah, you proud of yourself. Somebody just boom, hit a stick, hit it with a stick pin. That's what that's like to me. Again, fam, I don't know what he was up against behind closed doors. And I know he has to do what's best for him and his family. But again, I say, for me, what about the extended family? I don't think we ever going to get there if we keep selling. If we keep selling, every time we get something great, we sell it. We're never going to get there. And keep in mind, fam, that's how they've been able to control the narrative in the first place. We don't own nothing. And we give up our greatest. Our greatest always goes to work for somebody else. Our best. They pluck our best, not simply because they're our best, but because they don't want our best to help us. That's why. That's what I suspect. That's why I suspect, even more so than Deion going to help Colorado, I think they wanted Deion to take Deion away from Jackson State so he could not help HBCUs. But what say you, fam? Going into the comments. Michael Mahone, what up? Brian Joe David says this was expected. This is how you move up. Why is everyone acting so surprised? You got to crawl before you walk and go where the success takes you. True that, but all money ain't good money too, So, like I said, I believe that if you want to look at Deion Sanders' legacy, I just believe that let's take a look at let's take a projected look at Deion's legacy. He's already a championship football player. He's Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame. Deion, the greatest cover man in the history of football. So he's already a legend. No matter if he just stopped right now, if his dash popped up today, Deion legacy is secure, right? But to take it further, let's say he go to Colorado, turn the program around, and let's just say they win, I don't know, 5 championships in a row. He did that for Colorado, a predominantly white institution. Let's say he move on to the pros, get a pro job, and go win 3 Super Bowls. That's going to be great. That's going to be great for his legacy, to win championships on a collegiate level, as a player, as a coach, to win on the pro level, win championships as a pro player and a coach. Can't touch this. To play baseball and football in the same week, hit a home run. Come on, man. Can't touch it. Can't touch it. But let's flip that coin and say Deion stayed at Jackson State and not getting top dollar, but getting some dollars. Get a million here, a couple mil or whatever, a few million, whatever. Maybe not as lucrative as the Colorado situation where he's getting $5 million a year plus incentives that could give him another 40% in incentives. Okay, right? But let's just say it's $1 million. But even if it was 500,000, Deion star power gives him endorsements. So think about that. He could make more money in endorsements than he could as a coach. But bigger than the money, think about the legacy. He turned Jackson State around. And not only that, he turns HBCUs around, the HBU athletic programs around almost single-handedly. Now, you tell me which would have a greater impact on his legacy and which would have a greater impact on the youth. Those kids at Colorado are going to be all right. They're going to be all right. Those kids at Jackson State is located in the poorest state in America, Mississippi. For somebody like Deion Sanders to come up in there and be a coach, a teacher, a mentor, a friend, to shine a national spotlight on little old Jackson, Mississippi. I don't care what team he go to, what college he go to, what PWI he go to, what pro team he go to. It ain't gonna have that type of long-lasting legacy impact. To turn HBCUs around, that Deion did in 3 years what many people, like all these HBCUs, combined ain't been able to do in the last 50 years. Man, do you understand the impact of that? He's irreplaceable. I don't think that the foundation is solid enough for him to leave and go somewhere else. I don't think that everything, the structure is there yet. It ain't solid enough. The TV deals ain't there. And then I'll take it further than that, fam. You know, a lot of these people on this, with a lot of these brands, that these advertisers, they be in cahoots with these PWIs, and all of them will be like, look, we're gonna hold our nuts on that TV deal, because if we give them that TV deal, that's gonna shine a spotlight on these HBCUs, and we don't want that. We got to maintain control by any means necessary. I think they were all in cahoots, fam. I really do. I think it's a conspiracy. I do not think that overall this is going to be good for Deion or Black society. Overall, you look at Deion's impact, he stayed in this system versus going into that other system, I don't think his impact is going to be as great. All of those recruits are not going to follow him to Colorado, because they all can't make the team anyway. You feel me? What's up, Melvin Jacobs? Cynthia Banks Holman, what up? Yeah, if he don't win in Colorado, oh, and trust me, fam, that's another thing. If he don't win in Colorado, boy, that hammer gonna come down so quick. The hammer coming down. They're gonna put so much pressure on him. Them white folks in Colorado, man, they're gonna be so vicious. You're gonna see all kind of racist stuff come out of them. You're gonna see it. I promise you're gonna see it. He's gonna be dealing with that racist stuff every day. That's standing up. And I'm gonna tell you something else, fam. You know, in this society that we live in this American society, this United States society that we live in, there's a segment of the population that do not like Black men who stand on something, who stand for something, who stand 10 toes down, who speak their mind. He ain't gonna be able to do that in Colorado like he did in Jackson State. People in Jackson State, those kids understood. The staff understood, the administration understood, the people that live there understood, the people that support Jackson State University, they understood Deion, the way he talked, the way he stand up, the way he speaks. They understood that. And they embraced it because they know it works. The people in Colorado, when they hear Deion talking the way he talk, they're gonna be like, we got to put that in check. I promise you, fam, it's coming. It's coming. They're gonna turn on him so fast, boom, just like that. Let them go on some type of losing streak or something like that. Watch what happens. Watch what happens if he gets accused of anything inappropriate. Watch what happens. They're gonna turn on him just like that. So it's a different vibe. It's a whole entire different vibe going over there coaching for Colorado. It ain't gonna be like a family affair. It ain't gonna be like family. He gonna be under a microscope. He gonna have that. They're gonna have that pressure on him. It's gonna be a full press the entire time. Keep in mind, fam, like I said, it's a certain segment of the population, they cannot stand a black man that speaks his mind. Some of them listening to me right now, they hate the fact that I speak my mind. They hate the fact that I stand on two and soul cannot be bought. They hate it. They ain't got no problem with their kind doing it. They see a black man, hey, wait a minute, now you ought to be just happy that we freed you. Now you get back on over that boy and you start minding again. Now you know, like, they can't stand it, fam. Deion's disposition is going to be a problem with them. They are going to have a problem with that. I promise you. Again, Deion, to me, is one of the most solid dudes I've ever known, as far as what had the privilege to not know. Is that a privilege? Not. Well, not had the privilege to know. How about that? But I like Deion. I really do like Deion. And to me, Deion has character equity. So I'm not going to be the one to come out and try to bash Deion and call him a sellout and all. He's not a sellout. I'm not going to do that man like that. You know, he worked too hard. He's been solid too long. And like I said, we don't know all of the details. I'm just disappointed that he didn't stay, because I personally feel like his impact would be greater at Jackson State, where he could do well and do good by HBCUs all over the country. I think that his man, Deion is that dude. Let's see. I want to look up something right quick. So there are 107 HBCUs. Think about that, fam. There's 107 HBCUs. And Deion almost single-handedly turn that thing around. And he's done well. He's given them the blueprint. But I don't think that the design, I don't think that the build out is going to go well without him being the general contractor. My thoughts, fam. I'll give a few more shout outs and then I'm going to shut it down. Leon Gardner, what's up? C. Horn. Cali Cab. VC, what up? What's up, Jay? Cedric Foster, Anthony Coward, what up? That cannot be Coward. It's got to be Coward. I'm going to say Coward. I never heard that last name before, though. Tevin Jones. Stephen Cook, what's up? Really real? It's really real. Yeah. All right, fam. That's my time. I wish Deion Sanders the best. I wish all those players who came to Jackson State because of Deion well. I wish the staff well, the equipment people well, the fans well, the photographers, the videographers, everybody that was involved in that program. Y'all did something historical. That's something that cannot be taken away. What y'all did was y'all was all a part of something amazing. And if you were employed at Jackson State at that time, if you was involved in that program in any way, if you bought a ticket, just know that you are a part of history, that you helped do something very, very special. And I hope everybody continue to do well and continue to support HBCUs and continue to support the players and continue to support Deion Sanders, because I don't think he's done. I just don't like the fact that he didn't stay and do more. You know, I think that I would have personally would have liked to see what more he could have done. Because I was getting a daily dose of Deion. I was loving it, man. I was just loving seeing him work with those kids. I was loving him posting those videos and giving those inspirational speeches. Hell, he gave a speech one time in the dressing room. Hell, made me want to put on a helmet and some pads. I was like, shit, man, I want to play. I want to play for Jackson State. You know. So Deion, he's still the man. He's still the man. You know, I ain't got nothing but praise for Deion Sanders. I ain't got nothing but good to say about him. Deion Sanders to me got character, equity. You know, he's always been a solid dude. And I'm not the kind of dude that when I feel like a person does one thing wrong or one thing that I don't like, I'll throw them under the bus and totally discard them. I'm not built like that. Deion Sanders has character equity. He's been more solid, more consistently than most people that I know that I've seen out there in the space that he's in. So I wish him well. And again, I wish everybody else, all that are involved, I wish you all well, man. Again, you did something special, and that can't be taken away from y'all. No more talk.